Today, thousands rallied across the U.S. to protest President Donald Trump's actions. Hundreds of U.S. cities saw No King protest. These rallies sought to counter a major event happening right now in Washington, a massive military parade to mark the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary and Flag Day. Here in Iowa, more than 35 No Kings protests were scheduled to take place right here in Des Moines. Protesters gathered in huge numbers at the state capitol just hours ago. And Local 5's Megan McPherson spoke with several protesters about what motivated them to show up and what kind of impact they hope their voices will have here in Iowa. Megan, what were some of the key concerns raised by the crowd?
Well, Larissa, today's demonstrations here in Des Moines and across the state and across the country were planned weeks, if not months, before the federal immigration raids in L.A. that we've heard quite a bit about in the last week or so. But those efforts, in addition to federal spending cuts, including Medicaid cuts that we know are in Trump's big, beautiful bill, as well as the multi-million-dollar military parade happening right now as we speak, as you mentioned, in D.C., were among the many issues that protesters tell us brought them out in large numbers today here in Des Moines. Hard to know that anybody was here, given that it's very quiet here right now, but just hours ago there were thousands upon thousands of people here. They packed here into the grounds surrounding the state capitol. I was really honestly surprised with how many people were out here, because organizers initially told us that around 4,000 people were expected to attend, so obviously a big number. But what we saw and what organizers tell us was the actual turnout was much higher. They now believe that around 7,000, maybe even more than that, turned out to the demonstration. It's hard to know because, of course, people just kind of showed up at different points, but there were certainly a lot of people here. There really was not a lot of room to even get around. Now, the crowd, despite those big numbers, they kept things peaceful from what I saw. There was little to no police presence from what I saw either. And again, that's despite turnout being much higher than expected, and even some counter protesters showing up here. Now, several groups had speakers addressing the crowd, including Progress Iowa, the Iowa Federation of Labor, and the League of United Latin American Citizens. Among the chants and cheers, protesters shared thoughts on how President Trump's policies are impacting Iowans.
Today in D.C. isn't just a waste of public funds, it's a dangerous signal of what this second Trump looks like. An authoritarian spectacle for the rich, and what in reality will be deadly cuts for everyone else.
Now, if you were outside today, whether you were here at the protest or just enjoying this beautiful day, you know that it is very hot, it's very humid. And I actually heard from Des Moines Fire that they had to respond to multiple calls for medics here, people facing heat stroke or just maybe some symptoms of dehydration. I know that certainly we were experiencing a little bit of that as well, but thankfully I haven't heard any signs of any major injuries or any arrests from Des Moines police as well. Now, tonight at 10, there is still a lot more to cover with this, a lot more speakers to highlight, and we want to share with you the full sights and sounds from this demonstration here in Des Moines today, so be sure to stay tuned for all of that tonight at 10. For now, we're live in Des Moines. Megan McPherson, Local 5 News.